not under a radical sign right now. It's just x squared. So what do we have to do to get x by itself? Move the 36 over. Good. And in the past, we used to say that that's going to be a problem because it was negative, but now we can just deal with the negatives. Okay, minus 36 on both sides, you get 4x squared equals negative 36. What about now? We still want the x part, I'll self-inflate. We still want the x part alone. Divide both sides by 4. Good. And you still have a negative to deal with, so that's okay. Divide by 4, we get negative 9. I can't tell you how to start every single problem. All I can tell you is to look at that x and see what's attached to it. So now what we have to do is the square root of both of those. The opposite of squaring is square root of this side and the square root of this side. Normally you can't take the square root of negative 9, but we can break that up into negative 1 and 9.
She forgot to put the negative in.
I'm going to do that in a second. I actually did this first, where whenever it's squared, you get a positive answer and a negative answer. Then I'm going to do what you said. Then I'm going to split up the negative 9. Negative 9, negative radical 9 can be written as plus or minus the square root of negative 1. Yep, and then you said 3, which comes from the square root of 9. So let's review back to last week. Negative 1, what's the square root of negative 1? I. And what's the square root of 9?
3.
So we have a 3 and an I that both go outside of the house. There's nothing left under the root. The only thing is, anytime you have a squared in your problem, x squared, you have to have 2 answers. One positive answer, one negative answer.
Are we going to get that quiz back today?
No. I'm sorry.
Good.
Possibly Wednesday. Letter B. X squared plus 72 equals 0. We need to get x by itself. So subtract 72 from both sides. What do you get? Negative 72. Minus 72 and minus 72 on both sides. That one's not so easy. We don't know the square root of 72. We have to break it down.
Negative
8 and 9. There's one bigger. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do the square root. Both sides, I get plus or minus.
Negative 1.
Can you think of a bigger perfect
36.
square? 36 goes into it. Good. So I broke it down into the negative 1. If you see a negative under square root, you automatically have to get that negative 1 separated. Then 72 is the same as 36 times 2. You have a plus or minus sign in front because the opposite of squaring something gives you 2 answers. Alright, what does this do? Comes an I and goes out of the house. What does this one do? Comes a 6 and goes out. What does this one do? Stays inside as a 2. 6I radical 2, but there's a plus or minus because you have to consider both answers. Alright, that's solving different ways to solve for x. On the bottom, it takes all of our old rules that we know and just following the same rules, only applying them to complex numbers. So starting with number 5, letter A. A complex number uses I, so write that out. It uses a number that doesn't have an I and a number that does have an I. That's the complex number. Thank you. And that means that it's got imaginary numbers in there. Do you see any multiplication here?
No.
No, what is this?
Addition.
We're just adding 2 parentheses together, so we're just going to combine the like terms. Which ones can go together? Good. 8 and 2 become 10. Messed up. That one goes to quit.
Oh,
Alright, negative 5.
Kylie.
But it's only if I have it written. Negative 5I plus 1. No, all I did before was forget to move.
I saw you write it.
Alright, and if there's anything more you can combine, fine. If not, that's your answer.
Wow.
Alright, this one. What is happening right here? So we have to distribute that negative sign. Do this with me, so you don't have to ask me later. Turn that into a plus. And as soon as you change this, you have to also change everything inside the parentheses. Negative 2 and negative 3i. So now we put 4 and negative 2 together and get... And then We put 7i and negative 3i together and get 4i. We distributed that negative sign. It's a negative 3i.
Whoops. Sorry.
Okay, so that's not hard. That's the answer. It's a complex number. And it's just a matter of recognizing that you're not multiplying. There's a plus sign or a minus sign in between the parentheses. Okay, you've got to look for what you have.
Yeah. This is hard.
Next set is different. What's different right here? No plus or minus. This means multiply. And it means we're going to double distribute, or some of you learned it, FOIL, or some of you learned the rainbow method, all different things. So let's just do it one piece at a time. 4 times 3. 12. 4 times negative 5i.
20i.
Good. Did you make a negative? Okay, now the inside one.
6i.
I'm going to line it up right here with the other I. You don't have to line it up that way. You can combine your like terms later. And then the last one.
Plus negative 10i. Squared.
Squared. Good. Negative 10i squared. Just treat the I like it's a variable. Then we'll simplify it at the end. Alright, 12 doesn't combine with anything. It's just 12. Negative 20i and 6i. Negative 14i. This is negative 10 times what? What's I squared? 1 or negative 1? What's I squared? Negative 1. Every time you have I squared, that's why we were looking for a group of 2. Tell me you have I squared, it's negative 1. So this is really positive 10.
And then you add.
Yep, 10 can go with 12. Makes 22i minus what?
Holy.
Combine the ones that can go together. I'm going to just...
12 plus 10 is 22.
rewrite that.
You said 26.
Did I say that?
I got really
Sorry, I thought I said my 22
credit.
minus. Sorry.
Oh.
Those two together. Alright, letter B. Let's go through this last one slowly. Negative 6 times 5. Negative 6 times negative 3i. Positive 18i. Good. 2i times 5. And positive 2i and negative 3i. Negative 6 what?
I squared.
Good. Which really means negative 6 times negative 1. So negative 30 doesn't change. This turns into 28i. You're just combining. You're not changing the I. You're changing the coefficients. Minus 6 times I squared is negative 1. Which means what you're dealing with is negative 30 plus 28i plus 6. So what do we have? Negative 24.
Plus 38.
Good. That's what you have to be able to do for the first part. Questions on that? Good. Alright, turn the page. We have to try a few. I'm going to have you practice a few, and then I'm going to give you just time to work on what would be your homework, except that it's block schedule. It's
So
in
can we
class,
finish it in
right?
class?
Well, your homework is not going to be this. Because of block schedule. So, you should have had 3 minus I. Any questions on that? That's fine. You get it? What about this one? Is this a 2 or a negative 2?
Negative.
Negative 2. It's plus a negative, and what's this?
Positive?
Positive 7i. So when you combine your terms, you get 4 minus 2 is 2. 6 plus 7 is 13i. Questions on those? What are you going to do with this one? There's a shortcut, but most of us didn't memorize that very well. What can you really do? Yep. I saw what you meant by that. This is what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do that then, because it's squared, it's times itself. Did you get, what did you get?
5 plus 12i.
5 plus 12i. on that? Raise your hand if you have a question or a problem with that one. 5 plus 12i. Uh-huh.
I don't really know where I went wrong.
Did you do 3 times? We have. All right, 4. Number 13. What'd you get before I show you?
34.
44.
34? Nice job. You got 24? Do what right here?
Distribute.
Distribute, and then we'll combine like terms. In this case, what do you do? Okay, well you're back to that one. I'm looking at number 15 now. What do you do right here with the 2?
Distribute.
Distribute and stop. Then what do you do with the 3?
Distribute.
Okay, do all of that. I'll give you a little extra time for these. 14, what did you get?
4, 7, 9.
4, what? 7, 9?
Plus 7, 9.
Plus 7, 9?
Oh, no.
Negative 4? Did you get
Oh,
negative
yeah,
4?
my bad.
Alright, excellent. Look, a couple people got stuck here. It's minus I squared, which makes minus a negative. Turns into a plus. 15, what do we get? 9 plus I. Good job. Questions on that? Alright, I'm going to set the timer for about 20 minutes. Maybe 25. And I need you guys to borrow an iPad or else get out your phone and look at the classwork on the website. Treat it like it was homework, but we can't skip too much time because it's block schedule. So get those. And what I wrote on the website when you go to look at it is that it's the odd problems. So before you click the button, look at what it actually says there, okay? And do those on your own paper. And I'm going to collect that as classwork today and give it back to you on Wednesday. Then I'll show you the last thing you need to know for the chapter.